Hi everybody, this is Dan Stolebarger and welcome to this week's KFIR Middle East update. It's the week of April 28th. First things first, make sure that you go to our website at holygroundexplorations.com and access the PDF PowerPoint because there's a lot of pictures you need to see, and there's probably more information that we have time for with this YouTube. So again, at holygroundexplorations.com, click the blog button and access the PDF PowerPoint. As you know, this is a presentation that we give weekly, and we give it through the lenses of Israel. And so up to this time, I really haven't commented much about the primaries or the elections, upcoming elections in the United States. Truly feel like you're an intelligent electorate, and you need to make up your own decisions, and there's enough noise out there that I just don't want to add to it. But because of the fact that this is coming through Israel lenses, I thought I would include this. There was a poll taken, and most Israelis think that any of the candidates would be better for Israel than Obama. The Channel 1 network survey finds that a majority of Israelis prefer Clinton in the White House, but believe that Trump and Netanyahu would actually get along together much better. Again, through the eyes of Israel. Now, as you know, this is the week of Passover, Feast of Unleavened Bread, and the police are bracing for Jewish-Arab friction during this Passover, primarily in the area of the Temple Mount. This is always the boiling point, the tipping point, or whatever, false claims being made. And on Monday, when the Aaronic blessing was given, and you have to see the pictures in the PowerPoint here, there are 50,000 Israelis that made their way into the Kotel area of the Western Wall. It's an amazing sight to see. But because of the tensions of the Temple Mount, there's obviously massive concern. In fact, unfortunately, we were told that the Jordanians, who actually control the Hashemite kingdom, actually control the Temple Mount, previous to the Passover season were going to instill cameras up there, but chose not to. And again, it's just another one of those situations. John Kerry actually negotiated this deal to do that, but it's just another one of those situations where Muslims can say things and never really uphold them or abide by them. It's just the way it works in the Middle East. And this is one of those cases. So make sure that you're praying for the peace of Jerusalem, because this is a very volatile time. We'll talk a little bit about the Golan Heights. Defense officials are concerned that the ISIS, that the Islamic State affiliates that are operating near the Syrian border, near the Golan Heights, have now acquired chemical weapons, and they may be planning on testing them. This was reported last Tuesday. Now, as you know, there's a lot of hoopla going on right now. We reported on this last week that Israel's made the statement that they're never going to give back the Golan Heights. And the noise out of Syria is that we're going to then take it back. And so, in a sense, Israel's scorning the UN, who just recently came out in favor of the Syrians, saying that the Golan belongs to them and should be negotiated back. But the Israelis have come out to scorn the UN stance and say, concerning the Golan Heights, who are we going to negotiate with? Because currently, in this neck of the woods, it's being controlled by ISIS. Interesting. And again, it was very disappointed to hear the reports from both the United States and Russia, because usually the enemies of Israel, I mean, they can hate one another and kill one another, but they get united because of their hatred of Israel. Unfortunately, this last week, Israeli top political leaders and military commanders were stunned and shocked when they found out that US President Barack Obama and Russian President Vladimir Putin have agreed to support the return of the Golan to Syria. The two presidents gave their top diplomats, John Kerry and Sergei Lavrov, the green light to include such a clause in a proposal that's now being drafted at the Geneva conference concerning the ending of the Syrian civil war. Like I said, you would expect it from any of the Arab countries, but to have the superpowers of Russia and the United States saying to Israel, give it back, was shocking, to say the least. We're dealing with insanity here, I realize. And so one of the issues is going to be the Golan. That's going to continue. One of the issues that we've already talked about is the Temple Mount, Jerusalem, being undivided, not divided. And of course, we're up to our nostrils in two-state solution stuff as well. And every so often, I think it's important, once again, to pull the curtain back and take a real look at what the world's asking the Israelis, the partner the world is asking the Israelis to negotiate with. As you can see on this poster, this is the Fatah, this is Abbas's movement on their Facebook page that's promoting a student movement. And so take a look at the poster. The poster shows a knife dripping with blood, shaped as the PA's map of Palestine that includes the PA areas as well as all of Israel. So we're not just talking the West Bank and Gaza. And the entire map is painted in the colors of the Palestinian flag, implying what we all know to be true. It's not, they'll never be satisfied with anything other than everything. It's not the size that matters, it's the existence of Israel that matters. And on this map of Israel that's dripping with blood in the Palestinian colors is the text, plant it because it's shaped like a knife, plant it in the heart of your enemy. And again, this is on Facebook on April 26th. Palestinian Media Watch has shown that both Fatah and the PA statements and these visual expressions actually reject any possibility of a two-state solution. And in fact, from the Palestinian side, imply that they're only interested in one state. And as you know, that's not Israel. And then the next article is stunning. And I've entitled it, Why There'll Be No Peace in the Middle East. And as you can see in the pictures, you're dealing with 5 and 6-year-old children. These young Palestinian children participated in a festival in the Gaza Strip this week. They wore military fatigues, they brandished toy knives, machine guns, and they performed a play that was recorded and put on TV, simulating violence against the Israelis. It was on Hamas TV, and excerpts of this was shown in Israel on Channel 2 News. But one short clip of the play that aired on Tuesday shows a young girl armed with a knife attempting to free a Palestinian prisoner from Israeli jail by stabbing the guards. She's shot, she falls to the ground amidst the cries and the screams from the audience. And then other little girls come running up to approach her body, to cry over the body. And then a voice from the loudspeaker says, "Don't be angry. Don't be angry with her. She's your blood. She's your flesh. She is your honor." And you know, here's the truth. When Palestinians send their kids to act in school plays such as this, it's no wonder that their kids will commit these sort of attacks when they're older. There will never be peace until we break the cycle of this educational violence that's instilled in children at such a young age. The next article is something that you absolutely have to get the PowerPoint to see. It's called Obama's View of Reality. And you know, last week Obama made the statement, the assessment that we're very lucky to be alive today in the here and now, because this is the most peaceful era in human history. Now, we all know that Obama is doing his best to shape his legacy, but this is just insanity. You think people in Syria and Iraq and Libya and Iran and even Europe would maybe want to beg to differ with our U.S. president? Do you realize that some 400,000 Syrians have been slaughtered in their own country? Not since the Second World War has Europe been flooded with so many refugees. Also, not since the war has the radical right in Europe posed such a challenge, such a threat. The threat of terror has never been as tangible as the threat posed by ISIS. And yet our president is saying, we're lucky to be alive in the here and now in the most peaceful era in human history. What a warped view of reality. But should we expect anything different? A couple others and we'll be done for this week. I had to show you this picture. This is the picture of the Kotel, the Western Wall, where over 50,000 Israelis on Monday attended a mass prayer for the holiday of Passover. The crowd of men and women and children took part in the special priestly blessing, which draws Jewish worshipers from across Israel and around the world. The blessing's held twice a year, once on Passover and the other on Sukkot. And the Kohanim, or the priests, lead the communal prayers by chanting 3 consecutive verses of the Torah, one word at a time, in a special song that dates back to the temple era. The text of that priestly blessing, in case you don't know, I'll recite it for you. May the Lord bless and keep you or guard you. May the Lord make his face shed light upon you and be gracious unto you. And of course, may the Lord lift up his face unto you and give you his shalom. And then one last picture that I came across that was just inspiring for me. It's Israel from space and looking down at really the center of the world. You know, I can see from this picture, I can see, knowing Israel as well as I do, I can see the Galilee, I can see the Dead Sea, and I can see the area of Jerusalem. And just like the prophet said, in the end of days, Jerusalem will be a cup of trembling to all the nations. I hope this inspires us as believers to be praying for the peace of Jerusalem, to be praying for Jewish eyes to be opened, to receive their Messiah, as well as the prison doors of Islam being pushed open and the captive set free. So again, this is Dan Stolebarger. This is our Middle East KFIR update. And God bless you and shalom.